Hey everybody, it's Ryan from holdemforge. This is just going to be a quick video. We're just going to demonstrate how to use holdemforge on streets after the flop. It's really not that much different from using it on the flop itself. Just getting the ranges in is a little bit different. But you know, since we do have so much time, I guess I just wanted to talk about one thing before I dive into it, which is if you head out to our website, which is holdemforge.com, and go to our download section, you'll see this file called hand save files for 6 max no limit hold'em. It's a zip file, and it contains a bunch of like loadable hand ranges for our software, basically. So for example, just to show you what it can do, here's some 6 max opening ranges we've got loaded up here. And it really makes entering these board cards, these starting hands, a lot easier. With just a couple clicks you can say, well, here's a typical opening range for a tight aggressive player on the button, for example. That's just something. It's another resource we're putting out there for you guys to hopefully make the most of using holdemforge. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just I guess dive into using holdemforge on I guess a turn here. So the basic concept, if you're unfamiliar, is holdemforge is designed to help you answer the question, should I hold 'em or fold 'em, when you're facing a bet in a post-flop no-limit situation. Or limit, either one, a post-flop hold'em situation. So what you need to input are the board cards, so the cards that are on the board, and you do that just by clicking on this upper pane and entering it in the little menu that pops up. You have to enter how much money is in the pot, how much money the other guy's betting, and then some stuff related to what kind of analysis you want to run over here. I recommend you check out other videos for more in-depth overview of how to use those features. And then what you have to do is you have to enter the hands available to you before you call or fold. So some of these hands you're going to be calling, and some of the hands you're going to be folding. And likewise, if we go over to this other grid, we have to enter the hands that are available to the bettor before he bets or before he checks. So I guess we'll just we'll just go ahead and give him a little pre-flop range here. So for example, if this was a flop analysis, let's say there'd gone down some action before the flop happened, and these were the hands that I think he's holding, with decent probability before the flop. And likewise, these would be the hands that I think that I'm holding, before the flop. So then the next thing you have to do is if you're doing a turn analysis, you have to somehow narrow down this range of hands into something that is a range of hands that he's likely to be holding on the turn. And obviously that depends on what the flop action was. If he bet on the flop, he's probably going to have a little bit of a better hand on average than if he checked on the flop, for example. But basically the principle is the same. So you're trying to enter the hands available to the opponent and available to yourself before he bets on the turn, but after he makes all his action on the flop. And so probably the easiest way to go ahead and do this is to just go ahead and run a flop analysis first. So I'm just going to run some generic flop analysis here. So it gives me a little calling range here, and it gives my opponent a little betting range here. And since I just told it to do a Nash analysis, this is going to be sort of a generic range that looks like in this case he would be c-betting about 50% of the time. Now, if you think he's going to be c-betting more than that, what you should actually do is go back and enter an opponent model, and then tell the software to respond to that, and that'll wind up giving you more accurate ranges on the next street. But for right now, we're just going to use the sort of like, well, he's only c-betting 50% of the time range, which is sort of like the baseline Nash range, I guess, in this situation. So now let's say let's say he bet and we called. Now he's bet again on the turn, and we're trying to decide what to do. So how do we model that? Well, the easiest way is to just go down to this feed forward button in the bottom left-hand corner of the output screen and click on the bet call button. And that just means that the action went bet call on the flop. And when you click on the OK after this, what that's going to do is it's going to update these two grids. And it's going to say, all right, so now your hand range is all the hands that you would call to a flop bet. And the opponent's hand range is all the hands that he would bet, on the flop. and it's going to take out all the hands that he would check. So once you've done that, and it also updates the pot size to be, the pot on the earlier street plus, 2 times the size of the bet. So anyway, now all we have to do to analyze our turn situation is say how big he's betting and add the other turn card. So once we've done that, we can just tell our software to analyze, and we'll wind up getting another range out of the analysis. So what we did was we ran 2 Nash analysis, which is kind of a conservative thing. Like you saw that he was only c betting 50% of flops in that situation, and that was just a consequence of the analysis type we chose. One thing that we could do is if I go ahead and just clear our grids out and reload the original ranges, and actually these might not be quite the original ranges because I don't exactly remember what they were. But here I have 2 ranges that I would give these players. So one thing we can do is enter an opponent model and say, well, let's say I think he's going to be, c betting, almost all the time. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight a ton of these hands, and there we go. And then I guess I'll do a little further thing, and I'm just going to select them all and say, all right, now I'm just going to take away the very worst of them. So I'll click on this subset range button, and I'll take out, let's say, no draws and less than ace high hands. So if something is less than ace high and no draw, then I'm going to assume that he's going to check it. But everything else, I'm going to assume he's going to bet on the flop. So as you can see, that only took out a couple hands overall. So it looks like he's going to be c-betting close to 100% of the time under this set of assumptions. But that's fine. So let's just tell our analysis to respond to that belief. And, I'm just telling it. So to do that, I just specify, let's run a Bayes analysis, tell it to analyze. And, so now in this case, I'm calling about 80% of my hands on the flop. But, I can still use the exact same principles to go ahead and, analyze what to do on a turn. I just click the feed forward button. I get 2 new sets of board cards, 2 new grid states, with my range being my calling hands and the other guy's range being the betting hands. Then I just go ahead and put in the turn card I'm interested in. Put the bet size up to whatever I feel like it should be, and I can just go ahead and run another analysis. So I hope this has been a useful primer in using holdemforge on a situation other than the flop. So good luck at the tables, and thanks for watching. Bye.